So for example, like, I guess this will be a good spot. So, like, if you're, like, right here, for instance, or if you're near the window, like...
Good evening, this is Chuck W30N operating W30C net control for the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club net. Radio net meets every Monday here at 8 p.m. on the 146.73 MHz WA3PBD repeater of the Gateway FM Association. Membership in the Two Rivers ARC is not required to check in this net, as all radio amateurs are welcome. For like information about the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Greenoak, PA, zip code 15047. That's P.O. Box 225, Greenoak, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the Internet World Wide Web at www.trarc.net. www.trarc.net.
You're not in a good spot. So, like, hold on. Okay, so right there would be a good spot for you, okay?
Radio Club meetings are held on the third Tuesday of every month, except August and December, starting at 7 p.m. at the Blaine Hill Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 409 Oxford Avenue in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll go first, so you know that.
For open is set for check-ins. There's an emergency or priority traffic at this time.
That's only emergency or priority traffic. You only go when you stay mobile, portable, or outside. All I can tell you. Only you go there.
Unheard? Does anyone have listings of Silent Keys? Any radio amateurs who recently passed away?
Silent Keys.
Okay, not heard. Alright. Please, I'm going to take some check-ins here in a moment. When you check into this net, keep your call sign slowly and phonetically. Please spell out your call sign. And state me announcements or comments for this net. Okay, at this time, I'm looking at any officers of the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club wishing to check in.
No, but that's officers.
W3OC, please recognize Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa, Dalton Clarendon. Give me a check, good evening, about net. W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango. Bravo and Latasha. Give me check, you to the net, no traffic.
You can move around.
W3OC. Please recognize November 3, Juliet, Hotel Bravo. Jim here, McKeesport. Good evening to everyone on the net. No traffic. 3OC. Kilo Bravo 3, Uniform Whiskey Charlie. Stephen Boston. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone else on the net. No other comments or traffic. Okay, thank you. I got Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa, Kilo Bravo 3, Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo, and Kilo Bravo 3 Uniform Whiskey Charlie. And the other members of the Two Rivers ARC Board of Directors wish to check in. W3OC. W3OC, copy K3SJL, Kilo 3 Sierra Juliet Lima, Sean in West Mifflin, no comments and or traffic. Okay, got Kilo 3 Sugar Japan Lima, thank you. And the other members of the Two Rivers ARC Board of Directors wish to check in. Okay, not heard. Alright, now I'm looking for stations that are operating mobile, portable, or outside Allegheny County for the Two Rivers ARC. W3OC.
Okay, you have to move around. Here, come here. So, where is a good spot? Yeah.
Portable. Good evening.
Okay, stay there.
W3OC, W3PDA, portable West Mifflin.
Shoot.
Here is Kilo Bravo 3, Delta Victor Delta, Adolf Irwin, Westmoreland County. Good evening, Chuck. Everybody on the net. No further comments.
W3OC? W3OC, please recognize Whiskey America 3, Alpha Hotel Charlie, Antonio City, Pittsburgh. Good evening, Chuck, and those on the net of no traffic.
Here's Kilo Bravo 3, Victor Sierra Papa, Dan Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck.
You're going to have to wait a little bit.
W3OC. This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa, Jim Portable in Carnegie. Net control. Net control, please check in. Kilo 3, Sierra Echo Mike, Stephen down here in Hickory, Washington County, Pennsylvania. Good evening. Please copy Kilo Bravo 3, Oscar X-Ray Hotel, Bill, Hancock County, West Virginia.
Go. Go. No, too late. It's too late. You have to be quick.
Whiskey Alpha
Like
3,
you can't be
Bravo
slow.
Oscar Juliet. Ted Portable and Squirrel Hill, good evening to you, Chuck. Good evening, Net, no traffic.
Go.
W3OC.
Go.
W3OC.
Okay. Say step 4. Step 4.
Okay. This is Kilo Charlie 3, Papa Delta Alpha, Hugo in Pittsburgh. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone on the net. I have no traffic.
There we go. You got it.
W3OC.
You got it.
Did it go?
Yep.
Uniform 3,
No,
uniform.
you have to wait for everyone to
Kirk and
finish,
Elizabeth,
and
no
then he'll
traffic.
say it.
K3OC. This is Alpha.
This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Echo Victor Mobile. Danny and Plum, good evening. No traffic.
K3OC. Recognize November 3, Tango Alpha Uniform, N3 TAU Norman Penn, Westmoreland County. Good evening, Chuck. No traffic, no comments.
Sorry,
Well, you have to wait to see if he heard you. If he didn't hear you, you have to go
Please
down.
copy Alpha
It's happened
Delta 3,
before.
Alpha Lee in Oakland. No comment.
Well, yeah, because he jots it down, basically. Yeah, he just jots down the call signs.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
Got a bunch that
Let's
time.
listen.
Thank you all. Let's see, recognize N3 Zulu Charlie Hotel Portable, Kilo 3 Delta Papa Portable, just America 3 Papa Bravo Delta Portable, Kilo Bravo 3 Delta Victor Delta, Whiskey America 3 Alpha Hotel
That's
Charlie,
me.
Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa Portable, Kilo 3 Sugar Echo Mexico, Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel, Whiskey America 3 Bravo Oscar Japan Portable, Kilo Charlie 3 Papa Delta Alpha.
Yeah, he got you! Yay!
Portable. Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Echo Victor Mobile. November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform and Alpha Delta 3 Alpha.
Yay.
No,
That's basically
not
it.
quite in there, but that time. Thank you. Anybody else? Mobile Portable right outside of Allegheny.
Yeah, so you basically got it now. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So basically, this is yours to keep.
Oh,
This is yours to keep because I got a new one, so
Okay,
this is yours to keep. Yep. Use that for reference.
Good evening. 8:09 p.m.
Okay, I got November 3 Yankee, November Charlie. Anybody else for Mobile Portable right outside of Allegheny County?
Is it recorded? Yes, it is recording.
Okay, not heard. All right, we'll stop right there. Now I'm looking for base stations or anybody else who has to check in. Like to do so, call
It's every
out.
Monday night when this happens. Every Monday night, so
W3OC.
you have a chance to hear it.
W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3, November Foxtrot, Mike and Scott Township. Good evening to Chuck and everyone on the net. No traffic. No traffic.
That feeling when people just mess up, like, oof.
W3OC, this is W3 Sierra Yankee Radio. Bob and White Oak, good evening Charlie, and good evening to the net. No comment. W3OC, please recognize November 3, Tango Alpha Yankee, Jeff in North Brazil. Good evening to you, Chuck, and everyone on the net this evening. No comment. Okay, that sounds like a Kilo Charlie 3 November Fox. Excuse me, Kilo Bravo 3 Kilo Bravo Hotel, Whiskey 3 Sierra Yankee Radio, and November 3 Tango Alpha Yankee. Anybody else, please? W3OC, here is Kilo 3 Hotel India Romeo, Merle and Elizabeth Township. Good evening, Chuck. No comment. Okay, and Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio. One last call. Anybody else? Okay, thank you all. Thank you for all taking the time to check in this evening on this kind of cool night outside. Guess we're getting closer and closer to autumn and of course the coming winter time. Sure, that's for sure. Hope that many of you had a chance to maybe get your antennas worked on if you have to do that. I know I do, and that's another story. But thank you all. I try to get you up to date on. I have a news line to play this evening, and a little bit of local news. It's kind of sparse at the moment, but Two Rivers activities, the radio club. Our regular October meeting is tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, the 19th, at 7 p.m. at the Blaine Hill Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 409 Oxford Avenue in Elizabeth, PA. Starts at 7 o'clock p.m. Okay, other activities. Radio Club has several other radio nets during the week. On Wednesday night, the Radio Club has the Gab Net, meets at 8:30 p.m. and operates on the Link repeater system on 147.12 megahertz and 442.250 megahertz repeater system. And Thursday night, we have the 10-meter net on frequency 28.450 megahertz. That's upper sideband. Most of the last two nets are mostly informal nets, so you're more than welcome to join in the discussion or just talk about whatever is going on. We have the total of 3 nets besides this one and the other 2 I just mentioned. And on the Radio Club has its Hams and Eggs breakfast. It's held on the second Saturday of every month at the Ice Cornerstone Diner and Restaurant, 620 Long Run Road in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. The next one for that won't be till next month in November. We just had one just recently. Let's see, looking on things coming up. Let's see. Excuse me. The ARL is launching on the 8th band. The ARL School Roundup. That runs from roughly 1300 UTC. I think that's 9 a.m. I guess 9 a.m. our local time. It runs till 23:59 UTC in the evening. That's the 18th through the 22nd. On the end of the month, 30th to 31st is one of the biggest active DX contests. Is the CQ Worldwide DX contest is on 30th and 31st. It starts at midnight UTC on October 30th and runs until 23:59 on October 31st, 48-hour period. So there's a lot of DX stations that operate that. If you're interested in DXing, look for a lot of activity and pretty much on most of the bands, I would think, depending on propagation, of course. Let's see what else we got here. As been previously announced, on November 7th, the Wacom Ham Fest at Washington County Fairgrounds. Okay. Just recently released here, just way out on December 4th, the Mercer County Club is going to have something called the Virtual Ham Cram. It's a free class to earn your amateur radio license. What does it say? It gives the time. It's on the internet. Zoom on the using company called Zoom. And if you want to take an exam, they'll have in-person testing at 5:30 p.m. That's up in West Middlesex, PA, which is their kind of Sharon area. That's where they're from. Their flyer says the Mercer County ARC is offering this free license preparation class via Zoom on December 4th. Study with us and take your exam the same day at the Park Inn in West Middlesex, PA. Their ham cram AFCOM will be offered via Zoom, and so it's going to be led by MCARC President Tim Duffy, K3LR, along with the Dr. Joshua Richard, K8, KJR. Those are experienced members. So study ahead of time. If you wish to sign up for that, they have a website, www.technicianlicense.com. www.technicianlicense.com. So that's coming up on December 4th. I don't have any other stuff coming up except when we get into the new year. I believe the Water Association of South Hill Dam Fest is scheduled. It's still on the books for February 27th at the Home Economics Building in South Park, PA. More information as we get closer to that. Okay, that's kind of what I have for ham radio. Something of local interest. There's a news story out that those of you here in Allegheny County are probably aware. The former Eastland Mall has been sold to Amazon. Apparently they're going to be putting a distribution center up there. That's in Northwood Hills, right outside of Kingsport. That was just announced last week. There's a news story on it up on WPXI TV. And don't forget the general election. The election comes up on November 2nd. So make sure if you're going to vote for that, make sure you do that. And Allegheny County has announced that the mail-in ballots are being sent out. So you've already signed up for mail-in ballots. Put that in your mailbox. I know mine came last week. Okay. I guess I'm kind of like, anybody need to repeat for anything they heard before we switch over to Newsline? Okay, alrighty. Let's switch over to Newsline, see what AR Newsline's got tonight. W302.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2294 with a release date of Friday, October 15th, 2021. To follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. A new California ham radio station has a very terrestrial mission. Students in India receive a gift that opens the airwaves to new licensees, and the first modern microsatellite turns 40. All this and more is Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2294. Comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline. Amateur Radio's independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO. Our top story this week is about a new amateur radio station on the west coast of the U.S. that is designed to be used by hams, but also non-hams. Its goal is to expand appreciation for what goes on the air as well as terrestrially. Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITV, has the details.
A $35,550 grant from Amateur Radio Digital Communications is helping fund the creation of an amateur radio station at the new Crispin, California Island Center in Carpinteria, California. Amateur radio station KC3PDA will function as an educational outreach facility and become part of the center's exhibit gallery. The Santa Barbara Amateur Radio Club and the Santa Barbara Wireless Foundation will make the station available to the public when it is not on the air so that visitors to the nonprofit center can access it in the gallery. They can view an interactive presentation about amateur radio and other forms of wireless technology, especially as those technologies relate to researchers and travelers to the islands off that part of the coast. Webcams will be connected via the club's microwave data network, giving gallery visitors a look at the islands themselves. Club trustee Levi, K6LCM, said in a press release that the station will be open next year. The club website describes the station as, quote, a fully functional HF, VHF, UHF, and microwave amateur radio station, end quote. For
your amateur radio newsline, I'm Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITV. Meanwhile, in India, another new amateur radio station is being put together for a newly formed student club. This club has also benefited from a generous benefactor. Graham Kemp, BK4BB, picks up that story for us.
For more than 3 dozen students at a government school in India's Nalgonda district, lessons are about to become more and more than just academic. 43 newly licensed radio amateurs are creating their club on campus and have just received equipment for their shack from the nearby Lamakan Amateur Radio Club in Hyderabad. The Dipti Amateur Radio Club's faculty supporter is Sayed Jalani, VU3OND, the teacher who encouraged and coached the students to take the exam for their restricted grade amateur radio licenses. The shack's new equipment, however, is a gift from the Lamakan Club, whose vice president is Ashar Farhan, VU2ESE. Ashar is a well-known experimenter and accomplished home brewer whose designs for the micro VITX open-source HFSSB transceiver have brought him a global reputation. The club presented the equipment to the student club earlier this month. The students are now QRV with a micro VITX transceiver, power supply antenna and coax cable. Calling CQ from a school in their village, in Telangana, the students are ready to take on the world. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Graham Kemp, BK4BB.
NASA has ended the mission of an experimental navigation aid that transmitted from deep space for 2 years. Ken Peterson, KC0DGY, brings us the details.
NASA has a message for its deep space atomic clock. The ultra-precision navigation aid has been in test mode for 2 years. Your time, however precise it may have been, is up. To its credit, the instrument outlived its original 1-year test mission that began with its launch in June of 2019 on board General Atomics Orbital Testbed spacecraft. On September 18th of this year, that journey came to an end when NASA turned the clock's power off. Its ambitious function was not without some high points. NASA credits it with breaking the record for stability amongst atomic clocks sent into space. Hosted on board a spacecraft, the clock had the same mission as its ground-based counterparts, keeping time measurements to aid in the calculations of the spacecraft journey, factoring in that radio signals travel at the speed of light, 300,000 kilometers per second. As the spacecraft travels farther and farther from Earth, onboard atomic clocks such as this one are seen preferable to ground-based instruments. Scientists at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory say the clock has one more mission to complete, however. Its data will be used in the development of Deep Space Atomic Clock 2, another tech demo. Clock 2 is to be on board NASA's Venus mission, set for 2028. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Happy anniversary to UOSat-1. Satellite enthusiasts recently marked the 40th anniversary of its launch into orbit, which took place on October 6, 1981. Developed by a team based at the University of Surrey and led by Martin Sweeting, G3YJO, it was the first modern microsatellite accessible to amateur radio operators. The BBC carried an interview with the professor who discussed the evolution of his largely homebrew project and its subsequent launch by NASA. See the text version of this week's Newsline script for a link to the BBC podcast. Meanwhile, 3 ham radio CubeSats made by students from the Philippines and Australia were sent into orbit from the International Space Station on Wednesday. Australia's Binar 1 and the Philippines' Maya 3 and Maya 4 arrived at the ISS in August via a Cargo Dragon spacecraft. Details about their operating frequencies can be found on the AMSAT UK website. Right on schedule, students at the Mary Hare School for the Deaf in the UK had their QSO with astronaut Martin van de Heij, KG5GNP, aboard the International Space Station. To hear this first-of-a-kind ARIS contact, follow the YouTube link in the text version of this newscast script at arnewsline.org. Amateur radio loves to celebrate its newest and youngest operators, and in France, all eyes are on a certain proud 10-year-old. With more, here's Jeremy Booth, G4 in JH.
Congratulations to Florian Barret of Reunion Islands, who at the age of 10 has received the call sign FR4UG, making him the youngest radio amateur in France in its overseas territory. The announcement was made recently by the Amateur Radio Club in Saint-Leu in Reunion Island following Florian's training by Jackie FR4NP. France has only one class of amateur radio license, and the French TRARC exam contains 40 questions. According to an article in the Outremer360.com website, Lorion was inspired to study to become a ham after watching his father get on the air using Citizens Band Radio for amateur radio newsline and German route G4NJH.
2 new DXCC entries have joined Parks on the Air. Vance Martin and 3BEM brings us that report.
OC2, CQ POTA, CQ Parks on the Air.
And now in Parks on the Air news. In September, POTA welcomed Brazil and Norway to the program, which means we now have parks in 102 different DXCC entities. Activators in Brazil can now choose from over 700 different parks to activate, while activators in Norway, which is rich with nature reserves, have more than 2,500 parks to choose from. In POTA events, coming up on October 16th and 17th is the Autumn Support Your Parks event. This is a great opportunity to get out for a low-key weekend activity and make some contacts before the weather turns cold, or for our friends in the Southern Hemisphere as the seasons start to warm up. In our last item of POTA news, we're excited to announce that September of 2021 was an all-time record-setting month for POTA, with more than 250,000 contacts made in 1 month. Although logs are still coming in, the user count is currently at 263,478. This is November 3, Victor Echo Mike with your month ending September 2021 Parks on the Air update. Be sure to visit parksontheair.com for more information about the program and POTA.app for spotting, park information, leaderboards, and more.
The Italian WRTC 2023 organization has released the list of competitors for this 4-yearly competition of the best contesters in ham radio, the Olympics of Amateur Radio. The event has been delayed by a year because of COVID-19. The list URL can be found in the script of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the N7OEI repeater in Arizona's Navajo and Apache counties on Thursday at 7 p.m. local time.
W3OC.
The Alexander Sun Association is once again marking United Nations Day, Sunday the 24th of October, by transmitting a global message in Morse code on the historic Alexander Sun alternator at the World Heritage Grimeton radio station in Sweden. This year's message was written by Paul Sharma, a Swedish human rights lawyer and a proponent for sustainability. The CW message will be transmitted at 17.2 kilohertz. The transmitter uses the call sign SAQ. Test transmissions will be conducted on the 22nd of October between 1100 and 1400 UTC, and listeners are invited to submit comments to info@alexander.n.se. The event itself will be carried live on the association's YouTube channel. In Ireland, the regulator is seeking applicants to oversee the amateur radio exam there. Jeremy Booth, G4NJH, has the details.
Ireland's communication regulator, ComReg, is looking for organisations to oversee the country's amateur radio exams after the current agreement expires with the Irish Radio Transmitters Society on the 21st of December. The Harmonised Amateur Radio Certificate, or HAREC, is to be set, organised and corrected by whoever enters into the new agreement with the regulator afterwards. ComReg is expected to publish its invitation to the tender process shortly on its website. The IRCS has been administering the 60-question HAREC exams on paper. There's been no option to take the exams online. A report on the Southgate Amateur Radio News website noted, however, that the Radio Society of Great Britain has been using a Dublin-based provider for its own online exams. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Booth, G4NJH.
The allocation of the new 2x1 contest call signs has begun in Australia. Be listening sometime soon for 2x1 calls with the prefixes VK, VJ, and VL, followed by the state number and the letters A through Z. The applications for these call signs started being accepted on the 13th of October by the Australian Maritime College on behalf of the Australian Communication and Media Authority. They will cost $70 Australian and are limited to only contest use during a 12-month period, after which all advanced license holders can apply for them. No reservation of the call for a further year will be allowed. In the world of DX, be listening for members of the International Amateur Radio Contest DX Club who are using the call sign 4U2U until October 31st. They are celebrating United Nations Day, which is October 24th. This station counts as a contact with Austria, prefix OE, for DX purposes, and counts as 4U for the Vienna International Center for the CQDX Marathon Award. Send QSLs to UA3DX, direct, or by the Bureau. The CQ Worldwide DX Single Sideband Contest, taking place on October 30th and 31st, offers the opportunity for a number of stations in Indonesia, Kuwait, and Hawaii. In Indonesia, the team using the call site 7A2A will be operating from a contest station in Central Java. QSL using Logbook of the World, or send QSLs direct or to YB2DX. In Kuwait, Abdallah, 9K2GS, will be active in contest as 9K2K. Send QSLs to EC6DX or QSL via Logbook of the World. Be listening for Alex, KU1CW, in Hawaii using the call sign KH7Q from Oahu Island. He will also be active before and after the contest using the call sign KH6KU1CW. QSL KH7Q via Logbook of the World, or direct to AH6NF. For our final story, we look at a most unusual kind of DX. It was accomplished recently using a mode that is usually associated with very local signals. Ed Durant, DD5LP, tells us about it.
It's hardly the preferred mode for DXing, but Wi-Fi certainly went the distance recently for two hams in Italy who succeeded in making contact between the island of Sardinia and the Tuscan summit of Monte Amica, 304 kilometers or nearly 200 miles away. The connection made across the Tyrrhenian Sea was a project undertaken by the Italian Centre for Experimental Radio Activities and was reported recently on the Wi-Fi Planet website. The report didn't say who the hams were, but the Italian Centre's spokesman, Mirko Pesante, IZ3HAD, called the achievement a world record for Wi-Fi and a first step in creating, quote, a wideband digital network to connect all Italian ham radio users to each other and to other services provided by our associations, end quote. Those services include D-Star, Echolink and Amateur TV. The 802.11a link was created using radio modules on both ends from Ubiquity Networks based in San Jose, California. The modules were connected to 35 dBi 5 GHz parabolic dish antennas. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Ed Durant, DD5LP.
With thanks to the ACMA, the Alexander Association, AMSAT UK, the ARRL, Comranch, CQ Magazine, Dan Romanchik, KB6NU, David Behar, K7DB, NASA, the Ohio Penn DX Bulletin, Outdreamers 360, QRZ.com, Radio Society of Great Britain, Southgate Amateur Radio News, shortwaveradio.de, Soda Reflector, Space.com, Space News, Ted Randall's QSO Radio Show, Telangana Today, Wi-Fi Planet, WTWW Shortwave, and to you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. You can write to us at newsline@arnewsline.org. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operations. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2021. All rights reserved.
Good evening. 8:35 p.m.
Department at 409 Oxford Avenue in Elizabeth, PA. So get a chance, drop out for that, drop in for it, I should say. Okay, let's see. I don't have any more announcements. I don't see. At this time, we'll take some late check. If anyone else likes to check it hasn't done so, call now.
W3OC. This is Kilo Bravo 3, Lima November Charlie. Lenny here in the mobile. Good evening, everybody. No traffic.
Okay, got Kilo Bravo 3, Lima November Charlie mobile. Anybody else?
W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3 Sierra Uniform Lima.
Okay, Kilo Charlie 3 Sierra Uniform Lima. Hello there. Anybody else, please? Hey, calling me, Cop 29 check-ins. I'd like to thank everybody who did check in with this evening. I'd like to hear as many fresh sounding voices here on the net. And please don't forget our other radio nets. Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. on the 147.12 for 42.250 megahertz repeater. And Thursday nights at 8 o'clock on 10 meters, 28.450 megahertz. So, and also don't forget our Radio Club meeting is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock p.m. over there in the Blaine Hill Volunteer Fire Department. With that, I caught 29 check-ins, and with that, I'd like to thank everybody who did take the time to check in with us this evening. Everybody have a good week. Excuse me, this is W3OZ, also known as W3ON. Good night.